The manufacturer BenY Engineering has provided this safety operation video to train and instruct you in safe practices for the operation of industrial rotary slasher. This video, in conjunction with the slasher and tractor operator manuals and warning stickers, will ensure safe operation of this implement and mitigation of accidents. It is your responsibility to become thoroughly educated with the operation of your mowing equipment and be able to recognise any potential hazards that can occur when operating a slasher. Although this video will cover many of the situations you may encounter on the job, it is important for you to carry out your own risk assessment and take necessary measures to ensure the health and safety of yourself and others around you. Chapter 1. Safety. In addition to understanding how to use a rotary slasher safely, an operator must be alert and physically capable of operating the equipment. Some prescription drugs may impair the ability to use this equipment. Check the packaging of your prescription medication to ensure it is safe to use whilst operating any equipment. Never consume alcohol or illicit drugs while operating any equipment. Wear all personal protective equipment specified in the operator's manual. Wear suitable hearing and eye protection, steel-cap safety boots and protective gloves. Clothes should fit snugly with no loose hanging parts or jewellery, and long hair must be tied back. Before starting any job, a thorough equipment inspection must be performed. Conduct a walk around the tractor to ensure it is in proper working condition. It must be fitted with either a rollover protective structure or an enclosed cab, which will give additional operator protection from thrown or flying objects. It must also have a working seatbelt and PTO cover. If these items are damaged or missing, do not use the tractor. Check all lights for proper function. Also check with local authorities before mowing in public areas, as they may require special lighting and signage. BenY Engineering Piranha slashers are engineered with safety in mind and are built in Australia with high quality materials by our professional tradesmen. Depending on the model, Piranha slashers are designed for cutting and clearing grasses, vineyard and orchard mid-row mowing, mulching prunings, pasture topping, roadside mowing, heavy to light brush cutting for land clearing, clearing paddocks and private roads, and thick grasses, weeds, brush and undergrowth. Safety is of primary importance in the design of Piranha slashers. Proper assembly, maintenance and operation practices as described in this video will ensure years of trouble-free service from the machine. Sensible use and appropriate servicing will also save extensive repairs and costly downtime. The implement is designed to be used with all safety equipment properly attached to minimise the risk of accidents. Before you start, ensure you have read and completely understood the information provided in your operator's manual. The tractor used to operate the slasher must have the power capacity, size and weights to match the slasher model being used. It must be capable to lift, pull and operate the power takeoff or PTO at the mower's rated speed while travelling at a ground speed of 5 to 8 kilometers per hour. If in doubt, check with your BenY Engineering machinery dealer or contact BenY Engineering for application advice. Operating the slasher with a tractor that does not meet the necessary requirements may cause tractor or slasher damage and may be a potential danger to the operator and bystanders. The PTO speed is dependent on the slasher model. Please refer to the operator's manual for these specifications. Do not exceed the manufacturer's recommended PTO speeds. Piranha slashers are designed for a range of applications. Simply adjust your ground speed to suit the terrain conditions. Read the tractor operator's manual for adjustments to increase tractor stability. Chapter 2. Attaching the slasher. Use extreme caution when attaching the slasher to the tractor. The slasher should be securely resting on flat, level ground. Never allow anyone to stand between the tractor and mower. Anyone caught between the tractor and mower could be crushed. Connecting the 3-point linkage. Start the tractor and reverse it towards the slasher, ensuring the tractor is square to the slasher. Raise or lower the height of the lower linkage arms to match the height of the correct tractor linkage pins category. Piranha slashers come standard with either category 1 or 2 to suit a wide range of tractors. Category 1 pins are 7/8 of an inch or 22 mm and are the lowest hole. Category 2 pins are 1 1/8 of an inch or 28 mm and are the top hole of the linkage pickup. Align your tractor linkage arms with the correct category hole and locate the pins. It may also be necessary to adjust the width between the two lower arms to accommodate the width of the slasher. Slowly reverse the tractor so that the lower linkage arms fit into the implement mounting points. Attach the implement to the 3-point linkage connection with mounting pins and secure with linch pins. A pry bar can be used to help align the holes of the tractor. Next, attach the top link with mounting pins and linch pins. Piranha slashers have 3 different options. Category 1 pin hole, which is 3/4 of an inch or 20 mm, which is the lower rear hole. Category 2 pin hole, which is 1 inch or 25 mm, which is the lower front hole. Category 2 slotted top link, which is a 1 inch or 25 mm slot to allow the slasher to float on uneven terrain, is located at the top. The slasher has a slotted top link to allow the implement to pivot up if it hits a large bump or object. This helps to protect the PTO shaft from damage. If set up correctly, the slasher will be slightly tilting forward toward the tractor, enabling the blades to cut from the front and to eject debris from the rear. If the front of the slasher is up, debris may be ejected out of the front of the machine towards the operator, so ensure the front is slightly lower than the back. The slasher will now need to be adjusted. The hydraulic lift system will have a lift limiter adjuster to set how high and low the implement can be raised. Height adjustments can be fine-tuned by turning the upright arms. Sway adjusters enable you to pull the slasher in tight to the 2 bottom linkage arms and to minimise sway. The linkage should be set up with approximately 50 mm of free play to protect against damage from side forces. Chapter 3. Attaching the power takeoff connection shaft. PTO shafts come in standard lengths, so they can be adjusted to all tractors. This means you may have to shorten the PTO shaft to suit your tractor. The slasher PTO shaft is telescopic to allow it to vary in length as the slasher is raised and lowered. If the shaft is too short, it will come apart when the slasher is lowered. If the shaft is too short, it will need to be replaced with a longer one. If the shaft is too long, the shaft can bottom out, causing serious damage to the tractor or implement. This can be rectified by cutting the shaft down. To find the correct shaft length for your tractor slasher combination, contact your dealer or Ben-White Engineering, or view the Shortening a PTO Shaft instructional video on the Ben-White Engineering website. PTO-driven slashers are first fitted to the 3-point linkage as demonstrated. The slasher PTO shaft is then fitted to the tractor PTO drive shaft. Be sure that the locking pins or bolts have fully engaged by pulling on the shaft once connected. Start by aligning the splines between the yoke and the tractor drive shaft. Then press the quick release button to slide the yoke on. Slide the yoke all the way until the quick release button pops out. Be sure that the locking pin or bolts have fully engaged by pulling on the shaft once connected. Ensure the PTO guard is in place and spins freely. Use the linkage arm limiter to ensure the slasher can't be raised high enough for the PTO shaft to hit the slasher. Conduct the check with the PTO disengaged. If a turning shaft hits the implement, it can cause damage to the PTO system or personal injury. Setting the clutch. Gearbox protection is provided by a slip clutch with replaceable discs. The slip clutch is designed to slip when excessive torsion loads are encountered. All new clutches supplied with Piranha slashers have been pre-set. Compress the springs fully, then back off 2 turns. Fine-tune so that the clutch slips occasionally. On 20 spline models, clutch retaining clamp bolts must be tightened to 150 foot-pounds to clamp the clutch to the shaft. Loose bolts equal stripped splines. Chapter 4. Preparing to operate. The best safety practice is an informed, careful operator, as the operator is responsible for the safe operation of the slasher. The operator must be properly trained and over the age of 18. Ensure the operator is familiar with the implement and tractor and all safety practices before starting operations. Read the safety rules and safety decal information before starting operations. Make sure the operator has fully read and understood the manual prior to operation. Always operate equipment from the seat of the tractor with the seat belt securely fastened. Place transmission in neutral, engage the brake, and ensure all other controls are disengaged before starting the tractor engine. Never leave a tractor or implement running unattended. Do not carry people or objects on the implement or tractor during work or while in transit. Check your surroundings both in front and behind of the tractor and implement, and make sure the area is clear and safe before driving out. Use extreme caution when working close to fences, ditches, hillsides or other obstacles. Do not operate or transport on steep slopes. Do not stop, start or change direction suddenly on slopes. Working up and down is preferred. Use extreme caution and reduce ground speed on slopes and rough terrain. Watch for hidden hazards in the grass during operation and avoid any hazards or objects that could cause injury or damage like rocks, tree stumps or fencing posts. Mow around or remove the obstructions as they could cause serious damage to the slasher or tractor. Disengage the PTO immediately in the event of hitting an obstruction, feeling abnormal vibration or hearing unusual sounds. Turn off the engine, remove the key and inspect and repair damage before resuming operations. Always use jacks when inspecting under the slasher. Do not rely on the tractor linkage to hold the slasher while inspecting. Do not operate the tractor PTO during transport or when the implement is raised more than 150 millimeters above the ground. Chapter 5. Removing the slasher. Lower the implement and all attached loader buckets all the way to the ground and wait for all moving parts to come to a complete stop. Turn off the tractor ignition and remove key. Firmly apply the park brake, release the seatbelt and dismount the tractor. Disconnect the PTO shaft from the tractor and implement by depressing the spring-activated locking pin. Disengage the tractor's lower linkage arms from the linkage pins, then disconnect and stow the tractor top link and return to the tractor seat. Start the tractor as specified in the tractor's operating manual. Select a low gear and slowly drive away from the implement, making sure that it does not fall. Chapter 6. Inspection and Maintenance. Your Piranha slasher is supplied with safety decals to promote safe operation. Regularly inspect all moving parts for wear and replace as necessary with authorised service parts. Always support the slasher with safety stands prior to servicing or performing maintenance under the cutter. Do not rely on the tractor hydraulic system. Check for loose fasteners, worn or broken parts, and leaky or loose fittings. Serious injury may occur from not maintaining this machine in good working order. Chapter 7. Transporting and Storing. Slow-moving tractors carrying or towing implements can create a hazard on public roads, especially at night when they may be difficult to see. Use accessory lights and fit reflectors to give sufficient visual warning to other vehicles. Beware of oncoming traffic and roadside obstructions. Transport cutter in the fully raised position. Travel slowly over rough terrain. Always store the implement in a flat position. Stored attachments such as wheels can fall and cause injury or death. Securely store attachments and implements to prevent falling. Keep children and bystanders away from the storage area. Chapter 8. Make safety your responsibility. Ben Wire Engineering has provided this safety operation video in conjunction with the slasher and tractor operator manuals and warning stickers to train you in safe practices when operating a rotary slasher. All operators and maintenance personnel, including supervisors, must watch this safety video and read the operator's manual before operating, maintaining, or instructing use of this slasher. Although this video has covered many of the situations you may encounter on the job, it is your responsibility to become thoroughly educated with the operation of your mowing equipment and be able to recognise any potential hazards that can occur when operating a rotary slasher. It is your responsibility to carry out your own risk assessment and take necessary measures to ensure the health and safety of yourself and others around you. In summary, the best safety practices to mitigate potential hazards are to wear tight-fitting clothing and appropriate safety equipment, wear earmuffs or earplugs to protect against loud noise, stay clear of rotating drive lines, keep the tractor master shield and drive line in place at all time, keep riders off, keep a first aid kit and fire extinguisher accessible, never stand near or allow anyone else to stand near to a rotating PTO shaft or blades. Always turn the tractor off, apply the handbrake, and lower the slasher onto a flat surface when disengaging. Wait for the blades to come to a complete stop and remove the key before dismounting the tractor. If you do not understand any of the instructions in this video or the operator's manual, or if you have any further questions concerning safety of operation, please contact your supervisor, dealer, or Ben Y Engineering and Design. benY.com.au 08 8390 3664.